Josh here, and this is my third attempt to film this video. The first attempt was a little too long. I didn't like it, so did a second. It was much tighter. Really liked it. I was all ready to go, getting ready to post it. Thumbnail done, fantastic. And then a new announcement happened. A new announcement about the topic of this video, Dragonlord availability. And because of what was said in that announcement, that whole other video, its premise was effectively eliminated. So, I'm going to talk about Dragonlord availability. Now, I have avoided this topic for the past few weeks because I feel like everything that's been said, that's needed to be said, has been said, and the community's talked about it. There's a lot of feelings. And so until Eric Curiosa makes some sort of a statement about it, I think what needs to be said has been said. End of story. Moving on. But now we have two new pieces of information in relation to Dragonlord availability. And I want to talk about both of those because I think that those do add to the conversation. But before I do that, I want to thank all of you in the community that recently showed your support for my efforts with the sorcery community and questioned why I was not selected to help assist judge at SCG Baltimore. It really meant a lot to me that so many of you made statements in support of me and my efforts. So thank you so very much for taking the time to make those posts. It really means a lot to me to know that the contributions I'm trying to make to the sorcery community, which are imperfect sometimes, are appreciated. So thank you very much. And just to be completely clear, I have no animus whatsoever towards SCG or towards Eric Curiosa in regards to not being selected. It is a business process. SCG has no idea who I am. I have never worked for them. I'm sure it was just a numbers game, and they're picking from probably a bunch of new people. Maybe I didn't prepare the questionnaire very well. I thought I did, but who knows? Maybe they were looking. I don't know what they were looking for. So, it just didn't happen. It's just a business process, and I understand it. I was just disappointed. End of story. So, but I am in no way upset with SCG or with Eric Curiosa at all, because I understand it's a business process. And Eric Curiosa has even said they had no real say in the process at all anyhow. So that's it. So moving on from that, other than to say one last time, thank you so very much for your statements supporting me and what I've done and what I'm still trying to do. Thank you. Moving on to Dragonlord availability. The first little piece of information that we got was over on Cardboard Guide. They had a live recently. I'm going to link that video that is now posted in the description of this video so you can go check it out. And during that live, they discussed with Mateus and Heiner the availability of Dragonlord at the Gelsenkirchen event, Crossroads event over in Europe. The availability looks like this. Anyone that plays in the Crossroads is going to have the opportunity to buy a single copy of Dragonlord, which means 128 people are going to be able to buy a copy of Dragonlord. And presumably, the top four, the champion prize that's kind of listed on the website, the top four will also get a copy of Dragonlord for free as part of their pricing. So you're talking about 132 copies that are going to go out. I also imagine that, there's probably going to be some volunteers, something like that, where a few more copies are going to, be available at that time, but they're going to be given to specific people who are supporting the event, that type of thing. So at most, I'm thinking there's 150 copies that are going to be part of that event, that are going to become available at that event. And that is a drop in the bucket, considering the demand that we have seen for Dragonlord. Second piece of information was Baltimore. They announced all the artists that are going to be there, and there's a bunch, which is fantastic, including the Dragonlord himself, Ed Beard Jr. He is going to be there, and he'll be able to sign your Dragonlords. And even better, they indicated, Eric Scuriosa indicated in the article, that Dragonlord is going to be available for purchase in limited quantities. And future details are coming. So this, to me, is the big question. What does limited quantities mean? Does that mean the same type of availability at Gelsenkirchen, where one has to participate in the Crossroads event and then will be able to purchase a single copy of Dragonlord at retail? Or is it more like Gen Con, where perhaps individuals who are participating in the Crossroads will be given some type of a voucher to get a copy, but in addition, there are additional copies of Dragonlord that will be available for purchase? That's the question. Obviously, I much prefer the idea that it is more of a Gen Con experience, that more Dragonlord comes to the market. But I don't know if that's going to be the case. I have more of a feeling that it's going to be similar to Gelsenkirchen. But the good news is, getting product to Europe has been an issue. That's been something that, even with Arthurian Legends, there were delays in Europe, especially the Nordic countries. So that seems to have been an issue, just those distributors over there, the issues of getting the product over there. I don't know that Eric Curiosa has a way to directly send large volumes of product, the Dragonlord product, to, someone in Europe that they trust to handle it appropriately. So maybe that's why Gelsenkirchen looks like it does. And hopefully SCG Con Baltimore and the other SCG Cons look more like Gen Con in terms of availability. Now, certainly, I don't think there are going to be as many copies available at an SCG event as there was at Gen Con, an event that hosts 70,000 people. I don't know what SCG Cons host, but I don't think it's the size of Gen Con. It is the largest board gaming convention in North America. So can't be bigger than that if that's the title Gen Con holds, unless maybe cards, it's a TCG event. So I don't know. Maybe it's larger than I expect, but I don't feel like these events are as large as Gen Con. So certainly I would think the quantity available, if it is available just for straight up purchase, is going to be lower than Gen Con. So that's the question. How is availability going to fall? Worst case scenario is the Gelsenkirchen example. And if that's what happens at Baltimore, it makes me think that's how every Crossroads event is going to be, where you enter the Crossroads and that gets you the opportunity to purchase a copy of Dragonlord. And if that's the case, that is not a lot. Let's just say 150 per event in that scenario. There's 5 Crossroads. That's 750 copies. Yeah, 750 copies. I don't know, my brain stopped. 750 copies. That is not enough, in my opinion, to satiate the demand that is out there right now. Now, Eric's Curios has been clear. This is a collectible. They want it to be limited. All those things. But I still would like to see more. You all know my hope was that it would kind of be at the retail price through December. And then after that, fine, to the moon. Through December, I was like that, August to December at retail. That seems a reasonable amount of time for a limited edition product, in my opinion. That's not what happened, clearly. So the real question is, what is availability at Baltimore going to look like? And if it is the same availability model that Gelsenkirchen has, yeah, that's just not going to be great. So let's hope it's more. Definitely, let's hope it's more. But that's what I wanted to talk about. Now we're just waiting for the next announcement. I am trying to stay away from the Dragonlord availability thing because, again, a lot's been said about it, and I don't want to talk about this thing and over and over and over again because, again, I think everyone's had their say at this point, or had the opportunity to have their say. So, but those two new pieces of information I felt that was enough to warrant a quick revisit to the issue and a quick little talk. So that's it. One last thing. Because of all of the support that I received recently, I have decided I am going to attend Baltimore SCG. So I hope to see you all there. And the really good news is that I intend to play. You all know I am not a great player. This is just not my strength. I'm good with mechanics, good with understanding rules. But when it comes to actually having those cards in my hand and knowing when to play the right thing at the right time, that is not my strength. So, if, you're in the Crossroads and there's a chance you may run into me. I don't know if I'll be wearing the outfit, though. Am I going to do this for an event? Am I going to wear this the whole time? Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah. Something to think about. So, potentially, you could play against me if you play in the Crossroads, because right now I'm looking at that event primarily to be the main event that I play in. So, if so, that'll be great. And we can play a game and you can trounce me because I'll probably lose. So, that's it. Again, thank all of you who took the time to make those posts. It really meant a lot to me. And it made me see the light, shall we say. As always, keep on contesting the realm!